Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. My name is Sia Nejad, and we've got a great show for you today. I see you in the chat, Josh, Rick, Steve Folkerts, Brad Morris. We got Mike McClure in the chat. I mean, that first quarter or first drive punt play at plus money from Mike McClure. How about a round of applause for him? Hit the like button if you could. Let's see if we like the recap screen. How did we do? Okay, I think that's back-to-back winning days if memory serves. We go 4-2. I hit mine at the very end of the game. Mike hits his at the very beginning of the game, and Larry's Bijan Robinson play. I mean, that was just clearly a great play. Minnesota Wild win as well. We'll go 4-2. We'll take it. I mean, it's a good day. It's not a great day by any means. But ladies and gentlemen, Friday, no matter the recap screen, is always a great day because it's BPE Friday. Let's go. We got the glasses with Mikey B. We got buckets reading the leadoff man upside down, apparently. We got Danny Brasco. And, of course, we've got Chip Patterson. And if you didn't have your espresso, double espresso, triple, or quad espresso this morning, good news, you've got a Chip Me Up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Bucks. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Early Edge fam. Instead of attention, we got Army-Navy coming up this weekend, so you know I'm fired up. You know I got that Army-Navy pick for you. And just getting limber, Sia. You asked me. You said it was going to be time. Said we were going to have Chip on Choops. You know, Chip on Choops. We got a little college basketball for you on Friday night. Fired up. Let's go.
And don't think I don't notice the Carolina Hurricanes emblem upon your heart, your left side. They may or may not have beaten the Capitals yesterday 3-2. Any commentary there, Chip?
Truthfully, I think that all NHL games that end in a shootout is kind of just like trickeration. You know, once you get through the overtime is really fun. The 3-on-3, get a lot of individual skill. But it was embarrassing for your Caps because they scored as many goals in the shootout as you and I did. That's right. The star of the evening, Brandon Bussey, who became the first goalie in NHL history to win 10 of his first 11 career starts. He's a 27-year-old rookie, and he's been just biding his time in the minors, and he's off to a tremendous start, and he was one of the biggest stars of the evening. So we're on the bus. Brandon Bussey, he came through with 3 shootout stops to be able to give the Hurricanes a 1-0 advantage in the shootout. The extra point on the road against a division rival, we do love to see it.
Okay, I only need like a 2-second response, but you gave me like a 30-minute dissertation. Buckets, speaking of dissertations, I hear you're acknowledged. I mean, you were reading it upside down, but reading it nonetheless. I hear you're acknowledged in Matt Snyder's new book, The Leadoff Man.
Oh, you mean this book by Matt Snyder, The Leadoff Man? Yes, in the acknowledgement section, he refers to me as his probably long-lost brother, which I am not sure if that is a compliment or an insult. I'm going to assume it's a compliment and just say congratulations again to Matt Snyder for this because he knows this. I told him this. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to support him, and I'm going to tell other people, you should read this book if you like baseball.
All right, I do want to get to some picks, but Brasco, real quick, give me 20-second reaction on Bucks-Falcons last night.
Putrid, my favorite word in the English dictionary, or what I like to call El Putridito, the worst possible game you could have watched. Not really, because it was an exciting end, but the penalties after penalty after penalty. I mean, unfortunately for me, I took Bucks minus 2.5 live. They're up 14. They got 6 guys around a fumble that they can't recover. How did the Falcons recover that ball? How are you down 2 touchdowns? You commit the most penalties since the Browns in 2019, and you win the game. All the expletives that Todd Bowles had on the presser after were warranted.
Yeah. Shout out to Kirk and Kyle, though, just controlling that game. And, of course, Bijan Robinson. Mikey B, we got painted courts today, right? NBA Cup?
No, NBA Cup is tomorrow. Today is regular games. See, definitely not the NBA Cup because both the Bulls and Hornets are playing tonight. The Bulls and Hornets are long out of the NBA Cup. So regular games today, NBA Cup semifinals Saturday.
I got it. Okay, Buckets, hit me with some plays for the pitch.
I've got two plays for us. I'm going to start with the very, very tough one for us all. We've got Union Berlin hosting RB Leipzig in the German Bundesliga. And last night, I texted this play to producer Ben. I said, here's my play for the show tomorrow. I'm taking Leipzig over 1.5 team total at -110. And I said, Ben, this might be my favorite play of the entire season. I'm expecting this line to move. This morning, I woke up and I went to my computer and I was correct. It did move, but in the other direction. RB Leipzig 1.5 team total is now plus 130. I sat there this morning and I just stared at the screen. I felt lost. I was confused. I was looking into the void that was staring back at myself, and I had to have a bit of an internal discussion with myself. And I said, Buckets, you loved this play yesterday. What changed since then? And I did my research. Nothing. It's the exact same as expected starting 11. No big injuries, no big sicknesses. Nothing changed. And so I had to have that decision with myself to still take this play. And that is what I am doing. Leipzig over 1.5 team total at plus 130. This Leipzig side is incredible. They just dismantled a strong Frankfurt club 6-0 in the last match day, while Union Berlin has conceded two or more in their last 3 matches straight. The reason why it's moving and the reason why people think Leipzig don't score is because of what happened last season when they played. They played twice last year in the Bundesliga, and both matches ended 0-0. But I will be damned if I let my history or this team's history dictate how I play them in the future and play them this afternoon. This is an entirely different Leipzig side, and more importantly, a different, worse Union Berlin side. I love this line at -130 or plus 130. And if I'm correct, I will celebrate with you all. And if I am wrong, I'm going to be okay with that because I'm doing my absolute best for our wonderful followers in the chat here. And I think Leipzig are the better team and score at least 2 goals. Then for my second bet, we're going to the English Championship. West Brom take on Sheffield United. Both teams to score at -120. West Brom have now hit both teams to score in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. The over has now hit in 1, 2, 3, 4. Just bet on goals when you see West Brom. They are a team fighting in a lower spot on the table, but are doing fine offensively. It's their defense that's the problem. And Sheffield, exact same situation here. Love goals in this one as well.
All right, we like goals. I mean, we hate when the line moves the opposite direction, but listen, no new information, Buckets. Let's just stick with it, right?
Larry said it's the most emotional take I've ever heard. So, yes, we're going to stick with it.
Yeah, can we also, Ben, I starred M Squared, got a really good one for Buckets. That's a good idea. There we go. We need a 24-hour live stream with Buckets reading Matt Snyder's book. Then we can record it and submit the audio as an audible version of the book. If we can get Buckets to do the voice for the audible version of Leadoff Man, we've really accomplished something great in 2025. You know, I just think that that's a good way for us to finish out the year.
I think sales would soar.
I do too.
I mean, that's like not a joke. I actually think that's a great strategy. Buckets, are you in? We got to talk to Matt about it.
24 hours? Am I supposed to? Do I have to finish it in 24 hours?
Are you not going to be able to read it?
No, it might. If the goal is to finish the book, it might be more than a 24-hour stream. That's my only concern.
I know that you can read numbers because you're great at your data. But can you read sentences?
I can. There's just I skimmed through it. There's a lot of words I don't understand. Mays hit with .347 .419. 165 OPS plus, which led the NL. Like it's a lot of that, and I'm not good at that.
Hey, it doesn't matter. You don't have to read it right. That's the whole point. We want to hear how you say it. That's why sales would soar.
I would do it. If Matt wants me to do this, I will record myself reading the entirety of this book. I think that's a great idea, Mike.
You guys remember when 50 Cent challenged Floyd Mayweather to read 1 page of a Harry Potter book? And if you could do it, he would donate $1 million to charity. Floyd Mayweather turned it down.
Oh, that's good stuff. 50 in the news these days.
All right, diabolical individual.
Yeah.
AKA Ferrari. He's going off right now.
You can find him in the news. See what I did there? Mikey B, hit us with some NBA.
All right, we're going young guys today. No old dudes, although we have no NBA Cup. First, we're going to go to a favorite game of Ben and I's, the Hornets and the Bulls. We're going to do Con Knipple over 4.5 rebounds. This is juicy at -145, but here's why I like it. He's averaging 5.5 rebounds per game for the season. He's going to play a lot tonight. Why? LaMelo Ball, Colin Sexton, and Trey Mann are all out for the Hornets. Ball has missed 8 games this season. Knipple has recorded at least 5 rebounds in 6 of them. In the 2 that he didn't, he had 4 rebounds each against the Nuggets and the Thunder, 2 very good rebounding teams. That is not the case with the Bulls, who have allowed the 6th most rebounds per game in the league. When he played the Bulls a couple of weeks ago, he had 5 rebounds. So I do like the juice here. If this moves to 5.5 at plus odds, I would also be okay taking that. Or you could do the combo rebounds and assists at 9.5. The over on that is usually plus money too. So I'd be okay with either of those. And then finally, another young guy that maybe not everyone has heard of, Jalen Tyson of the Cleveland Cavaliers, over 20.5 points and rebounds. Jared Allen, Sam Merrill, both out tonight. Tyson has started each of the last 8 games that they have missed. In that role, he combined for at least 21 rebounds and assists in 7 of the 8 games. Why? He played at least 31 minutes in 6 of those games, so lots of minutes. And who does he get to face tonight? The Wizards, who have the worst defensive rating, have allowed the most rebounds per game in the league. Jalen Tyson over 20.5 points and rebounds.
All right, we got a couple of NBA picks right there. We still got college football to go, UFC. I've got a prop play. We've got the prop show at 3 o'clock today with Claudia, with Uncle Dave, and of course, Prop Stars. I'm going to give out a prop in just a minute, but let's talk about a college basketball odds boost, and let's talk about some picks for the weekend here. BetMGM players will receive a college basketball odds boost. Just make a college basketball bet this weekend, activate the boost token, and win unrestricted bonus dollars if your bet hits, only at BetMGM. I will mention, with such a huge slate of college basketball, we will have, I'm sure, plenty of people in the Discord, in the SportsLine Discord, in that college basketball channel, among other channels as well. But make sure, if you're a member of SportsLine, you're in that Discord. And Ben, maybe we could there. He's like, this guy's too good. He's way ahead of me. SportsLine Discord, discord.gg/SportsLine. Again, if you're a SportsLine member, you get that for free. We got channels for every single sport. And if you're not a member of SportsLine, just go to sportsline.com/join and type in the promo code winners to get 60% off the annual plan. Now, Ben, let's see how fast you can pivot. How about the SportsLine picks? Let's take a look at what we have for Sunday. Hunter Henry, we heard about this yesterday from Prop Stars, under 42.5 receiving yards at -115. RJ White, interesting here, going with the Arizona Cardinals plus 10, -115 against the Houston Texans. And then we're going with Larry Hartstein's pick, the Chiefs, -5.5 at -110. A little bit more NFL to get to, UFC and college football, ladies and gentlemen, right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
I misspoke. We even have more college basketball. This is the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Chip Patterson, I'm so used to you having college football picks, which, for the record, you do on today's show, but you also have a Friday night hardwood play. Talk to me about Texas and then your college football plays.
Yeah, we've got not a loaded college basketball slate, but a fun one as UConn plays host to Texas. They will be playing this one in, I think, the People's First. It's the old XL Center. So Gamble is the UConn home court that's a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate. You'll get a lot more students close. This is going to be at the larger, more NFL-sized arena in Hartford. Here's what I'm looking at. All right, so UConn's awesome. I'm totally willing to go there. You look at the teams that they've beat so far, and you look at what they just were able to do against Florida on Tuesday night in Madison Square Garden. And that's what I can't get over. This is an obvious letdown spot for a Huskies team that is very, very good. But, buddy, the number that they are hanging out there for them to cover against a Texas squad that does have athleticism, that does have size, that might be able to disrupt some of UConn's sets and what they want to do. And why is this particularly important? Well, it's because of Texas's head coach. That's right. That's Sean Miller. So last season, Sean Miller was the head coach at Xavier, and he led Xavier against the UConn team and pushed them to overtime once, lost by about 4 points in the second matchup. Back in 2023, Sean Miller's Xavier team, much better then, but did a regular season sweep of the Huskies, a Huskies team that would go on to win the national championship. I think that the coaching and the athleticism is such with this Texas team, the familiarity of Sean Miller going up against Dan Hurley, that they're going to be able to get in the passing lanes, get some arms out, those patient offensive sets that UConn likes to run. Miller's seen them all. And so I think this number is far too big. And how confident am I in this? So confident that if you looked on SportsLine, I liked it at 13.5. This number, like buckets, has moved against me. Some people talk about CLV like closing line value. How about that chip line value? So I want you to get the best number you can get. But me, I'm still sitting here on my 13.5 because I really think that this is a game that is going to come down to 9, 10, 11 points. Will UConn win this thing at the free throw line late? Probably by a possession or two. Yes. But I just think that it is an obvious letdown spot coming off that midweek win against Florida in a game where they should win. I like Miller to have the horns fired up. Sia, just say yes or no. You want me to go into football on Saturday?
Yes.
All right, we're going to go to America's Game, which you can see on CBS, America's Most Watched Network, the network of stars. You can stream it on Paramount Plus, a mountain of entertainment. Army-Navy is always worth your time. The pageantry, the passion, all of that's packed into it. But also in the last couple of years, we've just seen some daggum good football teams. You know, Army won the American last season. Navy was right there in the American title race this season. Quality squads that are now even leveled up. You would think that in the NIL era, in the transfer portal era, Army and Navy would be at a disadvantage. No, because, you know, other teams, they opt out. Our academies, they opt in. Other teams, soft, opt out. Our academies opt in. They're always bringing their competitiveness. They are always committed to their program. And in this game, we know the trends, right? The unders, historically, for the last 20 years, have been an extremely profitable play. Recently, we've seen the numbers drop and the trends have started to skew the other direction. So I'm actually just going to talk about the football of it all. It does not benefit Army for there to be a lot of possessions in this game because Navy is not a plodding ground and pound team. No, with Blake Horvath at quarterback, with Eli Heidenreich out there as a pass catcher and a runner, an all-purpose weapon. I mean, Eli Heidenreich had 800 receiving yards. Are you kidding me? A Navy player with 800 receiving yards on the season? Because Navy is an explosive offense. So if you are Army, it does not benefit you to give Navy a lot of cracks at it. You do want to be plotting if you are Army. You do want that 15, 16 play drive where you're more than happy just getting 3.5 yards per carry. So, especially early on, my expectation is that Army wants to put together like 10-minute drives. So instead of trying to go with the historical average for the full 60 minutes, let's tackle the 30 because eventually, especially if Army's facing a deficit, they're going to have to pick up the pace. So the plan for the Black Knights early is going to be slow, plodding, limit the number of times Blake Horvath gets the ball. We're going to go Army, Navy, first half under 19.5. And then, I mean, I hope you've got everything out of the cupboard. I hope you got them all out because the bowls are coming. Bowl season starts Saturday night with the LA Bowl. Our last one, you know, it'll be closing up shop LA Bowl. Who could forget the long history of the last 4 years? But this is an interesting spot because we got Washington, good Big Ten team, going up against a Boise State team that just won the Mountain West Championship game. And Boise State didn't just win the Mountain West Championship game, but they did it by getting their starting quarterback back. Maddox Madsen was knocked out of the Fresno State game earlier this season. The offense had a big dip after he left. He made his return to the lineup in the conference title game. They jumped out to an early lead. He was buzzing. Passing game was running like it hadn't been going in a while. And so I think that they've got a little bit more momentum. I think they've got a little bit more juice. They just hoisted a trophy 2 weeks ago. Wow. On the other side, you know, you've got a Washington team that's kind of been sitting on its hands. Now, Washington head coach Jed Fish has been saying that he is not expecting any opt-outs from players like DeMond Williams, Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston. But especially Coleman and Boston have been dealing with some nicks along the way, some minor injury issues and playing through it. If they do end up maybe resting up, it wouldn't be the biggest surprise. I like Boise State to start hot. I like Boise State to start fast. I'm going to go Boise State first quarter plus 3.5. Here's my expectation for the full game. If Washington wants to be there, Boise State can't block Washington. And then, like, once they knock the rust off, then that'll be it. But if we've got this team, which is coming off a conference championship game win, which just got their starting quarterback back, I think that they can get us one scoring drive early, and maybe we see Washington come out a little creaky. So I like Boise State in the first quarter plus 3.5.
Brasco, I've done you a disservice by having you go after Chip Patterson. I mean, you're so great. It's like a tie for first, but I mean, I should have had you go first and then had Chip have to follow you up. Buckets, go ahead.
Why did you not say that to me,
because of obvious reasons, Buckets. But here's what I'm going to do. Danny, I'm going to break things up a little bit. Buckets, I will give you a turn here because we got a couple of questions. We'll get people to kind of like, forget how great that take was. And then Danny, they'll be like, oh my God, Danny's the best at giving takes. Buckets, Joseph Rackett asks, would you take Leipzig money line or just take team total?
I would take both, but if I could only take one, I would take the team total just because it is Union Berlin at home. They've shown in the past, like when they played Bayern Munich, they're capable of these moments of glory where they can pull a 2-2 draw, but I don't see a world where Union Berlin necessarily win this, but if we got a crazy 2-2 draw again, I don't want you to miss money out by not taking the team total.
Jeff Stenberg asks, do we like West Brom team total over 1.5 at plus 125?
We do. That's the match I'm already on both teams to score, so I don't like double dipping a whole lot in the same game, but I do think that's a great shout as well.
Speaking of shouts, you texted the sniper while the show was going. I happen to know that. Any word back on whether you're getting paid for doing an audio version of his book?
I asked graciously if I could read his book and record for Audible, and he said, sure, in all lower caps with no exclamation point or anything. And I said, how much will you pay me? He said, roughly $0 US American dollars. So roughly means it could deviate a little bit.
Yeah, there's the room for negotiation there for sure. Rick Funcannon, Bulls team total over 116.5. Your thoughts?
I don't mind it. The Bulls are getting a little healthier. Kobe White's supposed to play for this game. Isaac Okoro is supposed to be back. I'm just so down on them right now. Rick, it's not good right now, Rick. But yeah, I would lean over that just because the Hornets play no defense.
You seem so depressed, Rick. That was pretty rude for Rick to even bring them up. Mikey B, Jalen Tyson play. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me go to any thoughts on this from Sports Fan, the threat of a blowout?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that simply because Tyson's not one of the guys that they would sit in a blowout. Mitchell, Garland, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, those are the guys that would be pulled in the fourth quarter, not necessarily Tyson.
We got a couple more basketball questions, maybe some soccer and football too in the chat. But Danny Brasco, I know you gave out a couple of UFC picks on Wednesday. You got a couple more for today.
I do. The prelim picks I gave on Wednesday were probably my favorite of this week's fight card. And guys, this is the last UFC fight card of the year. There's going to be a 6-week hiatus when they move over from ESPN to the Mountain of Stars, Paramount Plus, baby. Biceps up. Sia, I'm hyped up.
Let's go.
UFC's coming to our house, and we're going to cover it the best we damn can. But let's cash to end the year. 2 more picks for you guys in the slate. I gave 3 on Wednesday. So how about we go right back to the prelims? I'm taking Steven Asplund by knockout in this fight against Sean Sharaf. And this one, throw technique out the window, man. It's 2 heavyweights that are probably going to brawl, last man standing kind of fight. I want Asplund, who's just got this gritty edge about him. He fights with a nastiness. He made his Dana White Contender Series debut against a guy who was immediately calling for a title shot. He said, I'm going to beat this guy Asplund. I'm going to come in. I'm going to knock the next guy out, and I want to be in the title picture. He was talking hella smack all week. He was making fun of the fact that Asplund used to weigh 550 pounds and lost 300. He's got a kind of flabby, awkward physique for MMA. And what happened? Asplund silenced him in 16 seconds, buzzsawed him. This guy just has that gangster about him. And I think he's going to do that to Sean Sharaf. His opponent might be the more technical boxer, a little better with his footwork. But again, I don't think that will matter when they just mash up and meet. It's going to be a nasty fight. If Asplund ends up on top position, he's got vicious elbows. I just like him to find the knockout shot. I've seen him in some ugly wars before in the LFA fight promotion, and he's shown that he could take a punch too. So I like his toughness. I like his grit. I like his pressure and his power more than his opponent. I think he wins this fight by knockout. And I saw my guy Gippers in the chat say that he liked Asplund and Kevin Vachejos as a 2-leg money line parlay. That was almost my pick for the show, but instead I just went with Asplund alone. But I really like that, Gippers, as well. And then the next pick, guys, I got to go to the main event of the evening for the last card of the year. Give me the over 3.5 rounds in Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. This is a really good flyweight fight. And I think a lot of people are going to be way down. I know people are because the market is way down on Brandon Royval after he got pieced up by Joshua Van, who's now the flyweight champion after Pantoja's injury in his last fight. It was an absolute war. Both guys landed over 200 significant strikes, but Royval was the one eating the cleaner, harder ones. He's always been known for his toughness, his cardio, his fast twitch striking, and just his ability to be in a dogfight. But he's sustained tremendous damage over the last couple fights. I still think he's good to go. I still think he can push Manel Kopp into a deeper fight. Kopp has never been a hard 5 rounds before. He's never actually been out of the 3rd round. And although I worry about Royval taking damage with Kopp's clean timing, balanced striking, he's got beautiful shot selection, really fun to watch once he enters that flow state, starts mixing it up. I think that Royval maybe can scramble, can mix his game up, can try to push Kopp into that territory that he's never been and test him. You know, Kopp says that he's a worthy title contender. You got to prove that by being able to go a hard 5 rounds. And a guy like Brandon Royval, who's been a decision with the former champ Pantoja, split decision with Brandon Moreno, a hard war with Tatsuro Taira, who we just saw beat Moreno. This guy's fought all the best in the division. I think he can at least go the distance. So I think this fight gets him to the 4th round. I'll take the over 3.5.
Let me ask you something, because I'm about to get, I'm changing the subject now. I'm about to give out a prop in the Giants Commanders game. I know you're a Giants fan, Brasco. Any thoughts on that game? I'm just verifying the spread right now. I think it was 2.5 last time I checked. But any thoughts on that game? Your guy Theo Johnson has a receiving prop, just so you know, because I know you've bet on his receiving prop before. It's all the way up to 36.5. It's like kind of been bet up a little bit. But this is a team that's terrible against the tight end. Any thoughts on the Giants Commanders?
I don't really have many thoughts, because after the Patriots game where I was trying to make a bunch of Giants sharp reads and they all blew up in my face, I abandoned Giants bets and decided just to watch and root for draft picks now. But Theo Johnson's been my guy all season. A couple went through his hands, just very unfortunate game. So going to be tough to go back to the well, but 36.5 is a solid number. And he's Jackson Dart's favorite target, maybe an anytime TD sprinkle.
It went through his hands on a touchdown catch, and then the next play, Younghoe Koo kicked the ground instead of the ball.
I got to give Younghoe Koo some like relief from that, because he's taken a beating online. The snap, the holder did botch the snap.
He did, but you still have to kick the ball.
You got to kick the ball wherever it goes. You got to kick the ball.
Mikey B, go ahead.
So I too am a Giants fan. So Sia, I know you got burned by Tracy on his carries. It's 12.5. Now, the first 2 games when Kafka was named interim head coach, he had 19 and 20 carries. He had 10 in that Patriots game before he got hurt. The game script, this should be a much closer game. The Giants are going to win this game because it doesn't matter now, and it will hurt their draft positioning. So this is what they do. Yeah. They win late season games when it hurts their draft positioning. So the Tyrone Tracy over 12.5 carries, I like. And watch for when Chris Rodriguez's props come out. He's been limited.
That's my pick. Mikey
okay,
P, that's my pick.
I'll shut up. I'll quiet.
Well, so here's the thing. They're only out on BetMGM right now.
Yes.
Again, making it legendary by getting lines out early, which they tend to do. The reason they're not out anywhere else, and speaking of getting burned by picks, I got burned by Chris Rodriguez last week, and it had nothing to do with him. It had to do with the coaching staff. We'll get into that later. But the reason not all books have Chris Rodriguez picks props out right now is because he was a DNP on Wednesday, and he was a limited practice on Thursday with an alleged groin issue. Now, he didn't have to leave the game last week with any sort of injury issue. So what is trending right now, I think, is he's probably going to have a full practice. He might be limited today, but he's probably going to have a full practice. I'm willing to give out his prop right now on his rushing yards because, and Mikey B, I'd love to get your response here, but because he's either going to play or he's not going to play. They're not going to send him out with somewhat of a groin issue. And what's going to happen is the other outfits like DraftKings and FanDuel and Caesars or wherever you bet 365, they're all going to populate the props. BetMGM already has it. And when they populate the props, I have a feeling because he's likely at some point going to be a full go, or at least the news is going to be he's going to be the starting running back, it's probably going to be 53.5, 54.5. And I want to get the 50.5 right now. If he doesn't play, guess what? Your bet is void. But this is a Giants defense that allows over 6 yards per carry. And this is a Washington, or I should say a Chris Rodriguez, who was very efficient with the ball. The only reason I lost my bet, which was over 10.5 rush attempts last week, is because they just didn't give him the ball because they were down so much. He had 10 carries. He didn't take a snap in the fourth quarter because they were getting blown out so bad. And in the beginning of the game, on the very first drive, he had 4 carries for 32 yards. What did they do on the 1 yard line? They passed it 3 times in a row, and they didn't get it. And then Minnesota came down and went 98 yards for a touchdown. And then the game script totally changed. I don't think that's going to happen here against the Giants. Chris Rodriguez is he hasn't been super efficient, but against this Giants team, I think he's going to be very efficient. And I think after Washington got embarrassed last week, I don't think this is a game where it's like, oh, play your backup, see what you got, with your second and third strings. I think this is more of a, we got embarrassed. We got to try to win this division game. So I think Washington's going to give it their best effort. I think Terry McLaurin's going to have a pretty good game. Mariota's probably going to have a pretty good game. But I love Chris Rodriguez to get a handful of carries and to be very efficient. So 50.5 rushing yards is the play. Take the over there. And again, I feel like we'll probably, by the time I do the prop show at 3:00, which is going to be live on this SportsLine YouTube channel, I have a feeling all outfits are going to populate props, and it's probably going to be in the 52, 53 range. Mikey B, go ahead.
Completely agree. I would be fine laddering him up to 70 rushing yards. His longest carry is 11.5 yards. You talked about the Giants are allowing over 6 yards a carry. I also like that one. His anytime touchdown, I think I saw was like plus 160. I like that one too. The Giants can't defend the run. They have no desire, none, to stop running backs. Love that, Sia.
So it's a good point about the anytime touchdown score, because while BetMGM is the only outfit that has the rushing yards at 50.5, shout out to them, there are places that have the longest rush, like DK has the longest rush over 11.5, and it also has the anytime touchdown at plus 160, which is the best price on his anytime touchdown. So good looks. You can use both books. I'm going to do the rushing yards, but I think sprinkling on the plus 160 makes some sense too. Let's go to some more questions. Oh, go ahead, Buckets.
I see a couple soccer questions in the chat. If it's okay with you, I'd like to answer those. I'd like to ask Chip a question, and then I have to immediately leave. My doctor's office just texted me saying, "Where are you for my 10:30 appointment?" Which I completely forgot about, but I got to answer the questions first, respect to the chat. We got a question from S59er Y4B saying, Buckets, do we like Angers on the money line in League? We absolutely like the money line at plus 110. They're playing a non-side that has been terrible. What I will say is I actually like the money line more than the team total or more than a prop bet here, because 3 of the last 5 times they've played, Angers have won 1-0, and this is a team that goes up 1 and puts everybody back and tries to grind the game to a halt and make it very frustrating. So don't bet the over here. Just take that money line. Then Buckets, Lecce money line over Pisa. No, not for me at least. I am not touching either of these sides. They are 2 of the most boring teams to watch in Serie A, and I wouldn't be shocked if this game ends 0-0. So I'm staying off of that, because if I did want to bet it, I'd bet the under, but I'm not cool enough to bet unders. And finally, my question for Chip here. Chip, Fiorentina, I got to ask you. They're taking Verona
on Sunday.
Yep. Combined, these 2 teams have played 28 games this season, and there's only been 1 win over those 28 games. But Fiorentina is favored at minus 120, Sia. Do we see them, I love that, pick up the first win of the season? They just beat Dinamo Kyiv in UEFA play, so
2-1.
Worth something here?
Yeah, 2-1 in on Thursday in Conference League. My friend Tom Fernelli texted they're going to be the best Serie A B team in Europe. Yeah, we got our Fiorentina love right here.
You don't even want to know who I have on the back of this. It's heinous. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Ooh. So it's
I can't believe that you have him on the back.
Good
of
reaction, Sia. You're doing
crazy.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're coming off the Conference League win. You're playing the 19th place team. You need your first victory of the season. You're playing at home. Yeah, let's go. I'm in. Chip,
I took their team total at plus 110. I put $20 on that. If that hits, that winnings have to go to like us getting a drink or something or celebrating success here. But just had to run that by you.
All right, so Moise Keane being in the lineup on Thursday, obviously huge, and you're going to need him again on Sunday. You got goals from Keane and Albert, so it's like the guys that you need. Like if you throw Mandragon in there too, then those are like you need to have your.
That's not a real thing.
Huh?
Is that a real person?
His name is Mandragora, but I call him Mandragon.
Oh, that's like in Step Brothers. He's like, you have to call me Nighthawk.
Yeah. So sometimes I just come up with whatever is going to sound good as I'm yelling alone in my house looking at the television. And so, Mandragon! He's a nasty midfielder with a good pinch at the score. So Mandragora becomes Mandragon in my little North Carolina house.
On that note, I'm going to the doctor's office that I apparently was supposed to be at 5 minutes ago. Thank you so much, everyone.
See you later, Buckets. Thanks for joining us.
Tell them to tap in.
I mean,
you know the law. Subscribe.
Boom.
These days, the doctors are seeing you 20 minutes after your appointment, if not more. So, Buckets, you're probably okay. Get out of here. What are you still doing here?
I just love you guys so much.
Well, you got to go. So, see you later. We got to get to some more questions here. A lot of basketball questions here. Do we ride from Hernandez? Do we ride Porter 24.5 points again, Mikey B?
No, playing the Mavericks. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like, my philosophy is I don't bet on the Nets. That's just, I I know Porter has been great, but you never know when they're going to pull guys. It's just too risky. I'd prefer to avoid it.
D. Johnson says, Mikey B, thoughts on Maxey over 34.5 points and assists? And I think he's saying Julius Randle over 26.5 points and assists.
Sure. So on the Julius Randle side, Draymond Green is out for the Warriors, so their interior defense is going to be bad. It's down to Quentin Post. So I do like that. For Maxey, I never worry about whether Embiid is playing or not because he doesn't play enough minutes, and Maxey's the guy now. So I do like the over on both of those.
Embiid under 7.5 rebounds from Jay Long, minus 125.
That's another one on my I don't bet manifesto is I don't bet anything Joel Embiid related. But if you are going to take anything with Embiid, you bet unders because all he has to do is fall down once and he's out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Chip, you have any leans for the FCS playoff games tomorrow?
As always, I would just be regurgitating whatever Emery says. Go seek out his amazing content on SportsLine and CBSSports.com. That's I'll take a flyer for giggles, but I'm not dialed in enough to feel like I can speak eloquently and I can't even speak.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a perfect way to finish that sentence.
You asked me to talk about FCS and I totally lost the plot. I'm incredibly fluent in all of these other sports, but yeah, it's not out of disrespect. There's just only but so many gigabytes in this brain right here.
I'm not in a position to speak eloquently, and then literally everything fell apart. It just doesn't get better than that. I had something else. Oh, Buckets mentioned grabbing a drink with you, Chip Patterson, which I think literally everybody in this chat, including everybody on this panel, would absolutely love to do. So we were talking, just so everybody knows, little teaser for baseball season. Just so everybody knows, we were talking about sites, and we haven't made anything official, and we haven't, talked to the right people quite yet. But me and Larry were talking with Ben and a couple of other people about a destination for a meetup. Last year it was at Yankee Stadium, of course, and a lot of you showed up. Well, I can tell you the leader in the clubhouse is Chicago right now. There's a lot of people we have in the chat and on the show, and as a producer, of course, with Ben at Wrigley would be where it is right now. So what I want you to do in the YouTube comments, when you're listening to the audio version, if you're listening right now, just go to the YouTube comments right now. Name the city you'd like us to have it in. And maybe you have multiple cities, and maybe Chicago was one of those cities. I would like to get some feedback from everybody, but it does look like right now, and it's still early, that Chicago is the number one seed. So put the city you'd like us to have a meetup for Major League Baseball season in the chat, or in the YouTube comments. That would be very helpful. Danny Brasco, if we have a meetup, Mikey B met us at the last meetup. Danny, where would you want to have the meetup?
I like
if
the
not
idea
New
of
York.
Chicago. I just spent my first weekend in Chicago just a month or so ago, and I was at a wedding, so I didn't get to explore the city much, but it was cool, and I didn't get to see Wrigley. I like the vibes. I would definitely do Chicago. I might even fly out for that.
All right, Chip, we got a lot of people in the chat responding as well. Where would you like to have it?
Oh yeah, wherever works for everybody else. I mean, this is like planning stuff. Like, hey, where's everybody gonna go, and then I'll make it, because y'all don't want to come down to the Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Y'all can't handle that heat, that AAA smoke down here. Come on, like I'll hop on the train and head over to downtown Durham. We'll go see some real history, some real heritage and culture with the Durham Bulls baseball game.
Atlanta, Las Vegas, Houston, anywhere in Florida, Detroit, Cincinnati, a lot of Chicago here too. Milwaukee, Phoenix is interesting. Cleveland.
I was in Vegas in July. When's the baseball stadium going to be done?
Yeah, right. Rest in peace to the Oakland Athletics.
I know.
Right.
Such a shame.
Because the site is close. Like it is a good site. I will admit, where you've got how Mandalay has tunnels to Allegiant Stadium, and then basically it's across the street from there. I don't know when that stadium's going to be done, but I'd love to go check out that baseball stadium in Vegas.
Mikey B, if not New York, where?
Anywhere that anybody likes. I live in New York. I got the one in New York. I had a great time seeing all of you guys and everybody that came out. So whatever works for everybody else is fine with me. I already got my win last year.
Yeah, that's right. Again, put this in the YouTube comments. Let's see all the cities that we have to choose from, at least that you want us to choose from. Toronto says, I believe is how you pronounce that.
I don't know if Buckets would be allowed in the club.
I was about to say,
I think we've got to stay domestic because we have Buckets. I don't know if he'd be allowed out of the country. So that's
or if he'd make it back, Mikey.
He wouldn't make it back.
True.
That's the problem.
He would violate.
Eating donuts and looking for maple syrup. He would
unknowingly violate an international law and get detained in Canada.
Yep.
Yeah, Larry asking if he even has a passport, which is a completely fair question. All right, we do have to get everybody out of here. By the way, Larry did say he liked the over in that Washington-New York Giants game. Don't forget, we have the prop show today on the SportsLine YouTube channel at 3 o'clock with me, prop stars Dave Richard and Claudia Bellafato, so make sure you tune in to that. Let's take a look at the recap screen. Katie Taylor, I think she's inviting us to her Airbnb. What city is that in, Katie? I missed the front end of that, but that's a very nice thought coming from you. Chris Rodriguez over 50.5 rushing yards. We talked a lot about Chris Rodriguez, including his anytime touchdown that Mikey B brought up at plus 160. Again, this line is only at BetMGM right now because of the injury designation, so let's keep an eye on that. I'll have an update for you on Chris Rodriguez on the prop show. I just wanted to get the line out early because I think this is the lowest it's going to be against that bad New York Giants rush defense. College basketball, Texas plus 15.5. And don't forget about that BetMGM promo that we talked about on the front end of the show that you can use to make this Texas play or any college basketball play you want to make. College football, we go Army, Navy, first half under 19.5. College football, again, Boise State first quarter plus 3.5. Then we go to buckets. I think you pronounced it. It sounded like onion. Union Berlin versus RB Leipzig. Leipzig over 1.5 team total plus 130. And West Brom versus Sheffield United. Both teams to score minus 120. Con Knipple over 4.5 rebounds from Mikey B at minus 145. And Jalen Tyson over 20.5 points in rebounds minus 124. Then we got some Wednesday picks. You know what, Brasco? I'm going to let you do this. What are the Wednesday and Friday picks?
I got you, Sia. From Wednesday show, we got Teresa Blade on the money line, minus 155. Melissa Croden money line, plus 110. And Melky Costa money line, minus 108. And today, Stephen Asplin by knockout, minus 110. And Brandon Royval versus Manel Kopp to go over 3.5 rounds.
All right. Good stuff from Danny Brasco. We've got our SportsLine picks. Hunter Henry under 42.5 receiving yards, minus 115, courtesy of Prop Stars. Arizona Cardinals plus 10, minus 115 from RJ White. Kansas City Chiefs minus 5.5, minus 110 from Larry Hartstein, who's also in the chat and has been in the chat with Mike McClure. They have been very active in the chat. I can't tell you how much we all appreciate them being in there and being on this show. I did promise somebody that I was going to go out a live golf play. So a couple updates on that. We still have our guy at 45-1 in first place. We'll see if he hangs on to it. I actually bet him in the without market too, which I mentioned in the tweet and in the SportsLine Discord. The reason that's important is Shaper is on his heels, and he is one of those guys that was actually one of the four in that you could take out in the without market, if you will. We also have Van Tonder, who I believe is T8. I didn't see got a lot of good live plays. I was looking at JC Ritchie top 10. The unfortunate thing about that is this top 10, including ties, is minus 140, and I really don't think that is worth it. So for now, I don't have a live play. I don't want to force anything, but if I come up with anything, put it out on Twitter. I'll probably put it in the, well, I'll definitely put it in the SportsLine Discord. I'll probably also put it out on Twitter. So just keep an eye out for that. All right. That'll do it. That was a long show. Mikey B, thank you so much. Danny Brasco, Chip Patterson, Buckets. Hope you made it to the doctor somewhat on time. And Ben on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. And in the background, kind of Arsenio hauling the idea of all of us going to Chicago for a meetup in Major League Baseball season. Do not forget to put your city in the YouTube comments. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. I usually have Buckets close us on a Friday. Chip, you got anything for me?
You know the law. Subscribe.
We rest our...